horror novels of the last decade. In 1982, Viv chooses to find another line of work to help money her impending move to New York City, where she looks for a fresh start away from her awful little old neighborhood of Fell. In upstate New York, she starts working the night move as the agent of the neighborhood sundown motel, and keeping in mind that she is amped up for having the option to pay for her turn. Viv rapidly understands that something in this spot doesn't exactly bode well. After 35 years, in 2017, a young lady named Carly Kirk moves to Fell and turns into the night assistant to the side of the road in 2, resolved to illuminate the strange vanishing of her Auntie Viv. Back in '82, this madly savvy and frightening spine-chiller was composed by Simone St. James, creator of the Honor-winning smash hit The Broken Girls. An exceptionally convincing ride with astonishing characters, The Sundown Motel is a masterclass of secret that profits by the configuration of double timetables, with one set in 1982 and the other in 2017. St. James presents to us a splendid blend between murder secret and powerful repulsiveness, all enveloped with a book that will leave you as eager and anxious as ever, beginning to end. Propelled by the renowned Reddit dreadful pastor, Pen Pal is a very convoluted novel to portray. Generally, it is the account of an anonymous storyteller who is attempting to bits together a progression of peculiar and alarming occasions from his youth that never sounded good to him. The more he plunges into it, the more he understands that these encounters are associated by something that may have been following him since he was conceived. Something that may have formed each and every part of life as he knows it. The least we can say about Pen Pal is that it is unimaginably novel. Creator Dathan Auerbach doesn't hold back with this novel, and he takes the expansive thought of a secret in quite a dull and upsetting course that it will frequently make you question the very idea of the story. The book is short, yet completely justified, despite any trouble, and it will remain with you long after you read it. After the death of her grandma, Mouse is asked by her dad to get out her disconnected home and deal with her canine until further notice. Continually ready to help, Mouse acknowledges. While the assignment uncovers itself to be trying from the start, it turns out her grandmother was a hoarder. Things really take a dim turn when she discovers her progression granddad's mystery diary, which appears to detail the tricks and whereabouts of a strange province of unnerving creatures situated in the forested areas around the house. As she researches to sort out what is the issue here, Mouse starts to reveal the freezing privileged insights of her grandma's house, written by T. Kingfisher, otherwise called Ursula Vernon. The Twisted Ones is a dreadful and uneasiness-instigating book with a stunning hero and storyteller at the middle, regardless of the appalling occasions occurring all through the story. The book is additionally brimming with Vernon's unmistakable comical inclination, which offers an incredible feeling of equilibrium that is important for the authenticity of the account. The Twisted Ones is an absolute necessity read. Try not to miss it. Cora, a capable, straightforward columnist with a touchy past, is shipped off-country Georgia to cover an upsetting tale about an Appalachian faction of snake overseers. There, she meets Father Michael, the charming minister at the top of the town's congregation, who is by all accounts concealing something behind his affable grin. Understanding that something is truly amiss with this town, Cora chooses to put aside her previous injury, resolved to reveal the congregation's insider facts and bring down the religion at all costs. Beneath is certainly one of those books that isn't what it appears from the start. The flighty idea of the story is unquestionably a mark of its creator, Christy DeMeester, who is initially known for her unimaginable short, shocking tales that turn themselves over with mind-bowing turns. This introduction novel is as dim and upsetting as one could expect, if not more, and the ruthless move in the story will make you incapable to put it down. Summer, Fireworks and My Corpse, delivered in September 2010, is an aggregation of 3 separate shocking tales, counting a 200-page short novel, composed by amazing Japanese writer Otsuichi. The first story, after which the book is named, is about the homicide of the 9-year-old young lady named Satsuki, and the resulting conceal of her homicide by the kid and the young lady she trusted and accepted to be her companions. In Otsuichi's unique unpleasantness, the story is described by the perished Satsuki. After her death, the second story, named Yuko, is a work of art of erratic narrating about a servant who becomes dubious of her new manager, a sort yet unusual elderly person who prohibits her from going in a particular room of the house, guaranteeing that his debilitated spouse is resting in it. The additional time passes, the more she starts to address if this spouse really exists. The third, and longest story, named Dark Fairy Tale, is an especially solemn and disrupting secret about an adolescent young lady who loses an eye in a mishap and gets a transfer to have it supplanted. Following, she begins to see abnormal things that clearly aren't generally there, and she understands that she can some way or another experience the recollections of her new eye's unique and dead proprietor. Her frightening dreams rapidly start to devour her life, particularly when they put her on the path of a missing little youngster. In less than 2 minutes, Luke Ellis' life is totally changed. His folks are quietly killed by baffling interlopers. He is grabbed, tossed in a SUV and driven away from his home in Minneapolis. Much the same as that. At the point when he awakens, he is caught in a room that looks simply like his, however without windows. He rapidly discovers that he's in good company in this spot. There are different children, who are much the same as him, special, now held hostage in the nominal establishment. Luke and the others attempt to explore their new climate as they are taken by the injurious staff to go through weird and unnerving investigations without wanting to. Together, they start to make an arrangement to get away from this spot, under the nose of Mrs. Sigsbee, the groundbreaking and unnerving overseer of the Institute. Most public view Stephen King as an exemplary frightfulness author, which he is, and because of that status of legend, the vast majority don't appear to know that he is as yet delivering books right up till the present time. Furthermore, they are similarly tantamount to his works of art. Case in point, The Institute. This amazing book has been nicknamed by many the in-your-face Stranger Things, and, given how Stephen King properties have been gotten by the whole world since the 80s, and given how his work really motivated Stranger Things, it is nothing unexpected that Hollywood has just dipped in to adjust it into a restricted TV arrangement. Since the time she got away from the paws of her unreasonably damaging ex by at last retaliating, Liz realizes something has changed in her. She is a decent individual, kind, quiet, amiable and cherishing of her 2 youngsters. However, there is another piece of her that occasionally comes out, and she doesn't exactly get it. It's practically similar to another person is controlling her body on occasion. Somebody irate, savage and horrible, somebody that will effectively get what she needs. Furthermore, it would appear that that somebody is gradually attempting to take her place. Mr. Carey's return to loathsomeness is a flat-out grand slam. A groundbreaking tale about methods for dealing with stress and the different types of homegrown maltreatment. The subjects handled in this novel are taken care of with effortlessness through a totally alarming story. Following Liz as she loses control of her own brain and body is bad dream inciting. And it is just a piece of what makes this book so frightening. Somebody Like Me is holding, insightful and incredibly proficient. One of those books you will evidently battle to put down. In the wake of misleading outsiders, loved ones out of millions of dollars, Julia Bishop's significant other perpetrates self-destruction, disregarding her to confront the results of his wrongdoings. In urgent need of a new beginning, Julia is given a bizarre open door when the child of a well-known creator everybody accepts to be dead shows up close to home, and offers her to accompany him and become his mom's friend in her isolated home of Havenwood, where she has been living ceaselessly from society for decades. Though she is a piece weirded out by the solicitation, Julia acknowledges, all things considered, this may be the main possibility. She needs to leave her past behind and begin once again. Yet, when she goes to this shrouded house, things get abnormal. Everybody appears to be altogether too decent in Havenwood, and all in all too obliging. The house itself is all in all too recognizable, as though every passage gives Julia an impression of history repeating itself. Also, she could swear that the artworks are murmuring things to her. Wendy Webb is no more interesting to incredible ghastliness. She is one of the bosses of contemporary extraordinary spine chillers. And The Vanishing is an ideal illustration of that. Loaded with fabulously composed characters and a center secret that will make you go insane. This book is a genuine wonder of thorough development, with a wind that will hit you like blocks when everything reaches a crucial stage. Victoria McQueen, a skilled little youngster with a powerful capacity to discover lost things, is the lone kid to have ever gotten away from Charles Manx, a not really human neurotic that grabs kids and takes them to an alarming spot he calls Christmas Land. Since she is a grown-up, tortured by the injury of her youth, Victoria attempts troublesomely to proceed onward, until one day, Manx breaks from jail. Victoria quickly comprehends that Manx is coming to get his retribution, and she knows precisely how he intends to do it. Victoria has a child, and Manx will send him to Christmas Land. This book is excessively weird and brimming with shocks to fittingly portray in a couple of lines. It is a major book, with an intricate story so in a general sense irregular and trippy that it is practically difficult to discuss it without ruining it. Stephen King's child and current ghastliness legend Joe Hill brings us one of the most remarkable books ever composed, paying little mind to kind, with a world not at all like some other. NOS 4A2 is significantly upsetting, and it is without the shadow of an uncertainty an outright should peruse of the ghastliness type overall, with probably the most startling antagonist ever to get under your skin. A TV transformation of NOS 4A2 appeared in 2019 on AMC, with Ashley Cummings in the function of Victoria, and in all honesty Zachary Quinto in the part as the bad dream prompting Charles Manx. Lamentably, with blended audits and an inability to appropriately advertise the show to general crowds, AMC dropped the arrangement after 2 seasons, and is at present shopping it around, with fans trusting that it will get gotten by another organization. At the point when her mom out of nowhere evaporates suddenly and completely, 19-year-old Ruthie and her younger sibling Fawn choose to take the necessary steps to discover her. As they search their West Hall home for signs, Ruthie runs over a shrouded journal that had a place with the past proprietor of the house, Sarah Shea, who was discovered dead under puzzling conditions a couple of months after the demise of her little girl in 1908. Before she knows it, Ruthie ends up at the focal point of a dim secret that encompasses her mom, her home and their town. It seems like unexplained vanishings are not uncommon in West Hall, and it would appear that Ruthie's mom has been concealing a few insider facts that could clarify why history rehashes itself in this house. Simultaneously, a lady named Catherine shows up around, searching for answers with respect to the demise of her better half, who furtively came to West Hall prior to kicking the bucket in a vehicle accident. New York Times smash hit creator Jennifer McMahon conveys her best novel yet with The Winter People, a holding, provocative page-turner with a dim and eerie winter environment like we've never very observed. It is staggeringly elegantly composed and frigid, with a consummation that uncovers a genuine dominance of foretelling. The Winter People will leave you totally stunned, and it will keep you up around evening time long after you read it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and click bell.